You have found Vagina Whispering, where we talk about everything from vaginas and orgasms to femininity, connection and love, intimacy, pleasure, intuition, menopause, and so much more. This is a safe place to have real conversations and make real connections. We're going to have a great time. We're going to laugh a lot, and we are going to fall in love with ourselves again. A quick note before we begin, the information we present here is educational in nature and is not medical or psychological advice, nor is it a substitute for seeking licensed healthcare services. Okay, let's drop you into the conversation.
We are joined today by Elliot Justin, MD. He is the founder and CEO of FirmTech, a company building smart wearables for sexual health. He spent 25 years in emergency medicine before turning to this work, which began with men and is now expanding to women. FirmTech first made its name with the Tech Ring, an erection ring that gives men and their doctors objective data on erectile fitness, an early indicator of cardiovascular health. Its non-tech rings, the Max PR and the Performance Ring, sustain erections and intensify orgasms. The RingMate carries that work to women. Designed by Justin's wife, Anne, it solves a problem most vibrating rings ignore. The clitoris sits about 3.5 centimeters from the base of the shaft, so a buzzer built into the ring reaches no one. Larger handheld vibrators fix the location, but cause wrist fatigue. Anne's answer is slender, doctor-designed for clitoral anatomy, and made from medical-grade materials with 3 vibration modes. It slides onto any FirmTech ring for partner sex and works on its own for solo pleasure. FirmTech started with men's health, but with the RingMate, it puts women's pleasure at the center of the design.
But you've left out one important aspect of what we're doing, because this year we're coming out with the Clitique. I happen to have one on my desk. I'll show it to you later on. The Clitique is the world's first clitoris health monitor. It's good that I made the male wearable first, because I learned so much from it. 4 years ago, I knew nothing about this. I knew something about sensors, which is how I got involved in this, but I knew nothing about the neurophysiology of male and female sexual response. Now, the female device is going to get the benefit of my significantly expanded sensor knowledge. So all of us, men and women, we're all on the road from erectile fitness, because women have erections too, erectile fitness to erectile dysfunction. None of us know where we are on that road because we don't have any data. We don't drive a car without a dashboard. I wouldn't come visit you by car and not know what's going on with my gas, my oil, the heat of my engine. But when it comes to human sexuality, we base our decisions on celebrity endorsements, influencers, friends' opinions, and doctors' conjectures about what's going on. And those conjectures are often wrong. The biohackers like to say they're hacking health with fresh ideas. You can't really hack something unless you can track it. And you need data. There are a lot of nice ideas to improve men's or women's sexual response. Supplements for men and women to improve your femininity, your virility, et cetera. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry in the United States. And where there are hopes, there are dopes. And I'm one of them at times. If you go into the sink in our bathroom, I'm taking 8 supplements. I really only think 2 of them work. If I take the other ones, I'm not going to do any harm. With the male device, male wearable, we have tested probably around 10 supplements. L-arginine, L-citrulline, horny goatweed, maca root, ashwagandha, nitric oxide, beet juice. We've not found a single supplement to produce increased nocturnal blood flow, which is what we're measuring in men. And we want to measure in women as well, too. So I'll go back to the beginning. 4 years ago, I was challenged.
All right. Welcome, by the way. I didn't even get in.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you go from an ER doctor to wearables?
I've always really been interested in sex. And my wife will turn to me once a week and say, it had to be you. Because what we're doing is pretty easy. Yeah, but it had to be you. It had to be a doctor who's really interested in sex, knows about sensor technologies, is familiar with sex toys. Most doctors are what I call cock ring virgins. They have never even put a cock ring on themselves. I'm fortunate to be married to a woman for 38 years who's into sex toys. And if any of your listeners are considering getting married to a man or a woman, that should be in your checklist. You got looks, you got character, you got values, you got money, job, whatever. Put sex toys on there because a marriage lasts a long time and the sex toys are great. Anyway, I'm familiar with sex toys, and men's sex toys suck. They're these hard silicone rings. They pinch, they're uncomfortable. They've never caught on. And frankly, they never will. Women have experienced a renaissance of sex toys. The vibrator's been around since the 1860s, 1870s. The original ones were steam powered. You put it on your stove, heat it up, and it would buzz. It was for female problems.
Lack of orgasm. Let's just get out there. We don't have to buzz around it.
When I started in the late 70s, 1980s, when it was men, two men who wanted to commercialize, go big with vibrators, there was this concern in the male community that women are going to prefer them to men. It'll be end of procreation, or they're going to be habit forming. And now they're mainstreamed. And I tease my wife that she can come to bed with a bandolier of vibrators, depending upon what shape, form, color that she wants. Of course, knowing my wife, half of them won't be charged. And she'll be shooting blanks.
So are, by the way, going to get Anne on just to talk about sex toys. She doesn't even know that yet, but welcome, Anne. Because it is something that we have not covered. And it's something that I'm curious about. But truth be told, I have a few things and I don't pull them out very often.
So 4 years ago, a male urology professor at the University of Utah said, Elliot, I want to count the number of nocturnal erections. And I said, what the fuck for? We know about morning wood. We laugh about it. He said, because they're a leading indicator of man's cardiovascular and sexual health. They are the canary in the coal mine of sexual and cardiovascular health. I was unaware of that. In medicine, we don't have a lot of leading indicators. A leading indicator is predictive. In medicine, we treat associations. High blood pressure associated with stroke, so we take pills. Because if your blood pressure goes from 120 to 140, it's really not telling you anything. It goes from 120 to 200, that's a problem. And the same thing with lipoproteins. And pharma ends up making a lot of money by treating people in the gray zone. But these things aren't predictive. But if a man's number of nocturnal erections comes down by 50%, that man has a 50 to 70% chance of having a cardiovascular problem in the next 2 or 3 years. Angina, heart attack. That's powerful. And it's something that would motivate slovenly men to go to the gym and get in better physical condition. It's probably the sexuality, the sexual performance. So that's the backstory. So this doctor was a cock ring virgin, never used one. My thought was to embed sensors into an erection ring. But we had to change I don't like calling them cock rings. That sounds like a novelty. Because our rings are very different than one you might buy in a toy store. I want to embed sensors into an erection ring that would measure the number of nocturnal erections, their duration, and their firmness. That could also be worn during sex to measure duration of sex erections, and could also enhance a man's performance. So those are the 3 things that I wanted. With the data, though, men could figure out, hey, I have a heart problem, or I do have a heart problem with diabetes or atherosclerosis. How bad is it? If I'm taking a medication for sexual performance, like a PD-5 medication, Viagra, Cialis, what's the right dose? Right now, guys just take pills. We know what the right dose is. That's not how we treat blood pressure. Noelle, if you were a patient of mine and you told me, gee, Elliot, I want to go to the gym, my face flushes, think I have high blood pressure, and I said to you, take this pill and come back in 6 months, you would think, what the fuck is this, 1900? Are you going to get an electrocardiogram? You're going to get some blood tests? You're going to assess this? So when it comes to pretty much every other area of the body, heart, lungs, kidneys, we get tests. We try to make healthcare as objective and data-driven as possible.
Bring you around because we have a short amount of time. So This is what led you to, okay, let's create the first one, the first erection ring that actually hooks up to your phone, I'm assuming, and you check what your statistics are every morning, etc. Yes?
Correct. We're in the Google and Apple stores, and we give notifications, as in, hey, Elliot, your erections this month are 20% firmer than they were last month. And what's changed? That's great. Or it could be, hey, Elliot, your number of nocturnal erections over the last 3 months have fallen by 30%. You may be developing a cardiovascular or metabolic problem. You need to see a doctor.
It's not about fear. It's about knowledge.
Correct. We've had 6 men that were aware of get cardiac catheterizations because their poor nocturnal erection data alerted them that they have a cardiovascular problem. We've had 5 men that were aware of not get penile implants because they had good data. And the problem was not in their dick. The problem was in their head or in their relationship or alcohol. This is life-changing. We're taking men's health, sexual health, into the 21st century of objective, data-driven care. And now we want to do the same thing for women. No one has studied nocturnal clitoral erections in women since Madison Johnson.
As you're sitting there, I'm all, I don't even know what we are talking about. So let's back up a little bit to a clitoral erection. I have a feeling I understand, but I didn't know it could happen at night, etc. So let's go.
Yeah, look, the penis and the clitoris have the same roots embryologically. They're homologous. We can even say, hey, a penis is just a big clitoris. It's clear that the clitoris is a superior organ for sexual pleasure than the penis. There's no doubt that at all.
It does swell. My clitoris gets, when I am aroused, it does pump up full of blood and it swells. So that's, I'm assuming, what we're talking
Right.
about.
We're not talking so much about blood in the glands and the clitoris. And what
Okay.
Madison and Johnson were doing is they were waking women. It was every hour and a half, looking at the vagina and at the clitoris, and they had a scale for redness of the tissue, a scale for how moist is it, and then how big is the visible clitoris, the glands and the clitoris. So our thesis is that women's clitoral erections are just as significant in terms of the cardiovascular and sexual health as are men's erections. It has to be that way. Women are more at risk for certain sexual health problems than men are. And why is that? Premenopausal women have protection against heart disease to some degree. They're protected by hormones. Postmenopausal women have all the same issues that men do with diabetes, hypertension, atherosclerosis, issues affecting the pump. The heart pumps blood to the penis, the clitoris, when the arteries get narrow, going from the heart to the clitoris due to diabetes or hypertension. Premenopausal women take two medications in large numbers that men don't take that have a negative impact upon their sexual health. And those are hormones and what's the right dose. Because right now it's one size fits all. Doctors, we treat all of us as if we're all the same. And by the way, it's the same with gender. If I had high blood pressure, you guys had high blood pressure, even though we're different genders, different ages, they put us in the same pill, which is stupid because we're different. But they do the same to women with birth control pills. Take this. Maybe I need half the dose, or maybe I need actually more. We don't know because we have no way of measuring the impact. And if we're able to measure clitoral blood flow and clitoral temperature, we will be able to say, this pill is fine for you. It's having no impact whatsoever, but this pill is fucking you up. It's going to be harder for you to have orgasms. You're going to be dry. So birth control hormones. And then women also, depending upon what the study is, take 4 to 10 times as many antidepressants, SRIs, as men do. Now, the SRIs are killers in men and women of sexual pleasure, as well as affect our affect and our responsiveness, their mental changes as well, too. I remember one of my daughter's friends was having problems with the pill. When she stopped taking it, she said, oh, I now think my boyfriend looks good when he's coming out of the ocean in a bathing suit. And I didn't think this way 2 months ago. I was like, who cares? I got a boyfriend. Great.
So you go onto the website and we've got this ring and there's a nice visual. So you put your balls through this ring, you expand the ring, you put your ball sack through the ring, and then you strap it over. There we go. Ooh. Then you strap it over. Yes. And then I read you can twist it if you want to. I didn't know what that really meant.
Well, that's for diabetics who want tighter. Look, here's what women need to know about cock rings. I'm going to give it to you right now. Here are 5 questions that every man or every woman who's involved with a man should ask. Do you want your man to get harder? Yes, of course you do. The average man using our ring increases his girth by just 2 to 3 millimeters. That's more beyond rock hard, this cock ring hard. There's no amount of vaginal oral magnet stimulation is going to get a man harder than a ring. Why? Because the ring is going to compress in the superficial veins. Our rings don't choke off all women want their men to be as hard as possible. The harder a man is, the longer he lasts, the more sensitive the penis is to touch or stimulation. So you want to rock harder. Now it's a mutual confidence. Do you both want to be more confident in the guy's erection? Of course you do. You want to know that, gee, he's had 4 cocktails, but he's still going to be able to perform. Or, gee, we've been dancing for the last hour. Is he going to be too tired? Or the last time we went to bed, he got hard and then he lost it. And now he was upset. Is he going to be upset this time?
Yeah. Ring increase the duration of an erection?
Correct. The erection ring will keep a man hard after he's had a climax. In a Japanese study of men with significant erectile dysfunction, the erectile hardness score 3, they get hard enough to penetrate. They were taking Viagra, Cialis, and they were injecting Trimix to try to sustain their erection. And they still were failing to have sustained, satisfactory sexual intercourse. By adding the ring, they're able to have intercourse on average for 10 minutes and stay hard comfortably for 8 minutes afterwards. So we're actually talking about...
What was the average prior?
They would penetrate and lose their erection within 2 or 3 minutes.
Wow.
Rings are game changers for men. So what does my wife like about the ring? Let's talk realistic about what goes on between couples. Yeah, we go to bed, I get hard, I go down hard because in a healthy relationship, a woman comes first and third. And because my wife loves me, what is she concerned about? Am I taking too long? Is it still hard?
Often say, I'm sorry it's taking so long. Yeah.
Yeah, but a guy who has a ring on is very different than a guy who's not wearing a ring. Because a guy who's not worried about losing his erection is in a very different mindset. A guy who's worried about losing his erection probably going to lose his erection. The confidence issue. Another thing to ring boost confidence, why my wife likes it, is she now can talk about whatever she wants while we're having sex, because a lot of women, this is a common male complaint, even though women are really turned on, they got to talk about something that comes to mind. Something with the kids that happened, something, illness, something with the house.
During sex?
During sex, yeah. This is really common. Common male
Yes.
complaint. Yes.
Oh my God, Noelle, is it?
Sometimes you have
God.
something on your mind, you have to get it off to be able to be present and enjoy. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
did I forget to tell you about this? Or, oh, I think I texted you, but don't forget about tomorrow.
While you're having sex? Oh my God, this is fantastic news for me.
This is common. Noelle, it's Jen who's the outlier, not you here.
That's what I'm realizing. My husband is so lucky. I'm like, all right. I try to talk dirty because it helps.
So now my wife knows she can do this, and I don't care because I got the ring on. Go ahead. You got something you got to get off your mind about. And sometimes they're really good, Noelle, in the defense of all women, sometimes they're really good ideas. It's worth hearing them.
Yes, that would be fun.
Then there's the other common male complaint, since this is a female-focused show, so I've spoken to a lot of men. The average guy over the age of 45 or 50 is less interested in penetrative sex than his partner. Why is that? Because it's because of friction.
Hold on, say that again. So the male partner between 45 and 55
Men are less interested in penetrative sex.
they like a blowjob.
They want a hand or a mouth, which makes sense, because a hand or a mouth have a brain attached to it and can deliver a much greater variety of stimulation, along with someone else's imaginations. You're giving up control as well too. I still enjoy vaginal sex, but in our relationship, it's more like it's just part of the play. It's not the end game. But with a ring on, it's a different mindset. With a ring on, it's, hey, do you want this? But now I'm hard. I might not want to come this way, but that's fine. And this is a common miscommunication between men and women that I was unaware of until I started talking to. I've spoken to about close to now 200 men, and I've asked them intimate questions about, when you lose your erection, what's happening? It's something that doctors never ask. The doctors never ask about sex. And if they do ask a guy, it's, how's it going? Or just take a pill. Take a pill doesn't get to the core of the problem. It's not bit like saying, hey, you have high blood pressure? Take a pill, but forget about losing 40 pounds, but forget about getting in better health. I want to get back to one thing. Women, a lot of guys are too proud to use rings. Women need to open their minds about rings, the way men have opened their mind about vibrators.
I like it.
Put a ring on it. Just put a ring on it in bed. Do you want to have a more intense orgasm? Bear in mind that men have nothing and women have vibrators. And how can a man have more intense orgasm? The way a man can have more intense orgasm is by drawing out the ejaculatory phase. All our rings can achieve this by tightening them around the shaft, but the maximum performance ring was specifically designed to do two things. What's better, a pill or a ring? The two independent studies show that a ring and a pill work best together. The pills put more blood in, but they don't keep it there. Most men's problem is keeping blood in. Most men's problem is not getting an erection, it's maintaining the erection. They get an erection, they lose it. A ring is the answer. If you told me 4 years ago, you're talking about cock rings the rest of my life, I would have said, no, I've been like most guys. It's not about needs, it's about want. I want to be great. So how are we great? Man or any woman can prove this with a guy tonight. Get a guy rock hard, and then no stimulation. Leave the room. The erection is going to go down about 25, 35 seconds. Get a guy rock hard, put a ring on it. He's going to stay hard for close to 3 minutes. With a pill, it's about 2 minutes. And with a pill and a ring together, it's close to 4 minutes. That's harder and more intense pleasure. But the ring is also designed to put a little bit of pressure over the urethra to draw out the ejaculatory phase. The ring was designed to increase the ejaculatory phase in an average man by 50%. So my ejaculatory phase goes from 4 seconds to 7 seconds. That's an incredible orgasm. I don't have sex out of ring right now. My wife doesn't need a vibrator climax, but she prefers it. My pleasure is so much more intense. And my wife likes it too, because sometimes it's so intense. If she's edging me, I'll chew on the pillow. She'll say she's glad the kids are out of the house because I'm loud for the first time. So if a man wants to have a more intense orgasm, or his partner wants him to have a more intense orgasm, put a ring on it, take a pill, and edge him for 15 to 20 minutes, and you'll own him.
Let's get into some orgasm for women as well. And you just showed us, if you're not on the video, you're showing us the attachment to the ring.
This is the RingMate. My wife invented this. She wants something for hands-free, penetrative sex. And by the way, what's wrong with intercourse? It slides on off our rings. It sits there. It's where the clitoris is.
I'm like spreading my legs trying to figure out, like, all right, where does that go? Okay, you're right.
It's 3 speeds. It's covered with a very soft elastomer. It's pink. It's designed to look like a tongue, but it also functions as a finger vibrator. This is how I often use it, or my wife uses it, because you don't get wrist fatigue. You really can get in between people. And again, to get graphic but realistic, if you're having sex from behind, for a man or a woman, rubbing the clitoris this way, you give up. I'm not 25. I'm not going to get tired. This turns your fingers into a vibrator. Now, maybe Noelle's fingers vibrate. She looks really hot, but Jen, I don't think your fingers vibrate. So naturally, so this turns it into a vibrator. The problem with most cock rings that have vibrators in them, it's a ring around the base of the penis and the vibrator's on it. And the problem is the ring can rotate. They look cool, but you end up vibrating your wife's thigh or girlfriend's thigh, and then they become silly because then you have to actually hold it in place. It's no longer hands-free. You have to actually prevent it from rotating on the shaft of the penis. All of our rings are anchored on the balls, so they can't rotate. Putting a little more blood into the balls increases their sensitivity. And what does a man and woman want with balls during sex? They want it to be caressed, slapped, whatever. And where are they? They're here, they're there, they're up, they're down. Where are they? So you want them held in a consistent position. And my wife calls this a bra for balls. But this is the big thing we're coming out with, which is the Clitique. This is the world's first monitor that helps the clitoris. It has a sex toy function. I want to focus on the medical benefits, how it's going to work.
Please. Yeah.
I happen to have a clitoris on my desk too.
Phenomenal.
There it is. So if you were sitting down, there's your anatomy. This is inside behind the pubic symphysis. And there's a sensor there at the top that can measure pelvic floor muscle contractions. That's interesting. That's certainly a part of sexual health. But we're most interested in blood flow. So there's the visible glands. We are looking at the bulbs, the clitoris.
And those are not visible.
They're tucked, they run along the urethra on both sides. And they basically fill up with blood. If you look at my finger, they're flat, and then when you're aroused, they fill up with blood. And by the way, do you know what most vaginal secretions come from? Blood.
No.
Serum. There are mucosal glands on the outside of the vagina, and there are glands on the urethra that produce some mucus, a little bit of squirt too. But the bulk of it comes from the bulbs. The bulbs are the equivalent in the male of the corpus cavernosus, the two tubes that are wrecked with blood. There's a tremendous change in blood flow when a woman's aroused and when she's not aroused. And we're measuring that delta in blood flow primarily. No one else has ever done that before.
Wow.
So the dark purple thing is inserted into the vagina, and you leave it in there while you sleep.
Or while you're having sex.
So you can have it in there while you're having intercourse?
Any sex. Yeah. Up here comes my wife. She's going to tell you.
There we go.
She's going to talk. We start talking about sex. Tell me how this enhances sexual pleasure too, darling.
No, he hasn't explained one feature of it, which is that it's scooped out at the back.
For the
There's
penis.
For the penis, exactly. So the penis is designed to be at the upper side of the vagina. Oh, here, okay. So here's the penis, and it sits like that. So the penis
Does it
can
stimulate the penis more too?
It does.
Yeah.
It does, because the head of the penis is rubbing inside against that.
It provides a friction point.
And it also, for those of us that have had a bunch of kids and our vaginas are larger, this makes it tight again.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, so we think that we'll be able to sell it without the tech too as a sex toy because it's solving a problem. Actually, right now, we had these fingers designed so that the clitoris sticks out here so that this isn't in the way of stimulation
Of vibrators.
a body or a mouth, but it's actually frames the clitoris. And
Not only frames, having sex in the missionary position, you're on top, it pulls back the tissue on the side of the clitoris and makes the clitoris out more.
That's what I was going to say. Hello, clitoris. Okay.
yeah, so it worked out because when we were originally designing it, we had it closed because we were going to have sensors here to measure the blood flow in the glands of the clitoris. But we realized it's better to measure it here on the side at the opening of the vagina because that's where the bulbs of the clitoris sit that fill up with blood. So it makes more sense to have the sensors there.
I'm floored by the thoughtfulness of everything that you've described that you have invented together. It is incredible. Every situation that I can think of, you've done something to address that. That's so beautiful. I don't mean to cut you off, Anne, please.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. which I often do, as Elliot will confirm.
We all do.
But it evolved. It was started off closed and more curved. And then we realized we needed to actually open it up and bring it back because it's more of a right angle than a 30-degree angle. So it's been a process which has been really cool because we've worked with some wonderful people, including a local prosthodontist who has 3D printing equipment because he makes noses, teeth, and ears. And he was able to help us.
Have you guys looked at, because if the secretion is primarily produced by the blood flow in the vaginal glands, then are you guys looking at how to actually increase that? Because one of the things that we talk a lot about, Anne, is perimenopause and how our vaginas are, I hate the word atrophy, like that whole thing, but we've got less blood flow, we have more pain. I could see some women having a hard time even just getting that in, not let alone putting a penis in. Started looking at some of that.
In my experience, the most profound change came with testosterone. I was using testosterone cream, which I didn't like because it's gooey and yucky. And then Elliot started taking it and he suggested, and he was giving himself shots and he started giving me shots. And the shots are much more effective. And I didn't even notice anything for a month. And then suddenly I was horny again. And I haven't been horny in a long time. I've always enjoyed sex, but horny, it's a different thing. I was like interested in masturbating. I was much more interested, like having much longer sex sessions. And that was really, that was really mind blowing. I would say to Elliot, God, this feels, is this natural? And he said to me, are shoes natural? Are contact lenses natural? Are your antidepressants natural?
Or what we saw or what we felt, etc. So it's just different.
So do you ever recommend testosterone?
No. We do medical professionals in any kind of way. I'm a breast cancer survivor. So I'd be like, because I would never take a supplement with hormones, and I'm on Facebook pages with other cancer survivors. And that is a real no-no for us. So when you talked about being horny again, I was jealous because I'm like, I can't take testosterone, but it would be so nice to feel that again. But yeah, we don't make medical suggestions. We can't.
Yeah. And I have 2 blood disorders, so I can't take any of that stuff either.
Yeah.
I'd like, Elliot, there might be some solutions. I saw that. I'm like, I'll email you later, Elliot. But it would be a good conversation to have as well, because I'm totally at a loss. Wild yam cream has been rocking my world lately, and I hope it's safe. I actually woke up and was like, oh, hello down there. I have not felt that in forever. And I did what you told me to do, Noelle. I was like, hello, sexual energy. You are welcome here. Come and say hello. I was like, I've had sex and it has not been painful. Noelle?
I'm so happy for you right now. I could cry.
I am not crazy horny yet, but I can tell you. So maybe look into some wild yam cream. Have you ever given a blowjob with an Altoid in your mouth?
No.
That is fascinating. Alex likes that a lot. Just pop an Altoid in because it's hot and cold. It's great for the guy. Just a little tidbit of information to share. Altoids, you can thank me later, Elliot. Be like that erection ring on, and wow. Okay, so we have gone completely off topic. Noelle, bring us back.
Actually, I think we're doing great. Both of you are just a wealth of knowledge and experience. We are going to put your contact information in the show notes, but how can people reach out to you? And is your last product, the insert with the measuring, is that already available, or are you still working on that?
We are still working on it. We now have this device, just without any tech, out to a bunch of people to try it. We made samples because we want to make sure that it's a good size for the majority of people. And it's very flexible. You can see that it bends. So I think it will adapt to multi-shaped vaginas. And it's also very squishy. You can see I can squish it. And so it's easy to get in and it expands when it's inside. So it's called the Clitique. And we have a website that we're working on right now, which is called FemTech. But if you just type in myfemtech.com, and that's FEM, then you'll come to our page and you can sign up for our email list so you can get information as it evolves. Because we have German engineers working on the sensors that are going to be in here, bioimpedance sensors measuring the blood flow in the bulbs of the clitoris. It's been complicated because so many people still think that the clitoris is the little nub, that comes out, and they don't understand that it's this incredible organ. Part of the challenge for me working on the website is how do you show that without offending people? My solution is to have it accessible by a link. So you click on the link and then you can see an anatomical version of what this is.
You can have sex with it and walk around with it and wear it overnight.
Because we need feedback.
You walk around with it.
If you're going to sleep with it, you have to be able to live with it.
One of my jokes is that I put it in one night and I forgot totally that I had it in. I thought a really good sign. And I was walking up the stairs to get coffee and I was like, oh, what is that? Oh my God, I wasn't even conscious of it. So that was really cool that I could sleep and wake up and not feel it.
I thought you meant go get groceries, walk around in it. I was like, you wear it all day.
It seems that the muscles at the opening of the vagina is like a sphincter, really, and that holds it in place.
Wow. Yeah.
It's cool. It's really going to be revolutionary.
We're going to have you back, obviously, when you bring that to the table.
December. December.
Okay.
Really right around the corner. There's hope, women. There's hope. Women don't take care of ourselves as much. We often get poo-pooed by the doctors for that's just menopause, and knowing that we can start measuring some of the blood flow and having a positive impact on our overall health and data, like you talked about from the beginning, Elliot, is really important. Yes, sexual pleasure is important. Yes. But if we're not around to enjoy the pleasure because we're dead, then what's the fun in that? Well, Jen, way to go. Way to wrap that bow around it. We really appreciate it. I want the My FemTech, FEMME tech.
Thank you both so much for being here, for sharing yourselves, sharing your invention, sharing your passion to help other people have pleasure, and also to save people's lives because they can detect things ahead of time, help us save our partners and ourselves. So thank you both so much for being here with us today. Bye-bye.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Thanks, Elliot. Sorry, we let Ann take over for the last part of it.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. To access the interview on video, visit our Vagina Whispering channel on YouTube. If you have a topic you'd like to learn about, or if you have a specialist you'd like us to interview, please email us at vaginawhispering@gmail.com. And on a final note, while Noelle Deane is a licensed marriage and family therapist in the state of California, she does not provide any psychotherapy or other licensed healthcare services as the host. Any action you take based on the information contained herein is strictly at your own risk. Please refer to the podcast disclaimer in the show notes for further information.